You're listening to the After the Show movie podcast brought to you by Ascully.com. And here are your hosts, Ascully and Cidtalk. It's Academy Award weekend. This is my ceremony kind of thing. And the Academy Award goes to Cidtalk for Thor.
For watching it well? I watched it very well. Thank you. Thank you. I have to tell you, I think that as time goes on, the Academy Awards, while I love the idea and I love the spectacle, I don't know if I'm as into it as I used to be. I'm interested as in putting together or highlighting what somebody considers the best movies, right? But as time goes on, the older I get, the more I realize it's probably not the best movies of the whole year, of the whole planet. We're just getting a tiny sampling because of whatever process and politics go on.
You only just realize that?
Well, I mean, realize as in it makes it less shiny and pretty and more makes me more want to explore movies from all over the world, all different kinds. It kind of highlights that for me more now than just being like, oh, Academy Awards, which I've always been my whole life. You know, big Academy Awards fan.
Well, yeah, I am. I still am.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying it's different because I'm realizing there's a lot of shit we don't see. And then we focus on this as if it's it. And it's not it.
One thing I did learn yesterday from an Academy voter is, can't remember which one it was, is that you don't actually vote for the best picture. You don't go like, this is the best picture, and you put it in the ballot envelope. You actually vote for, out of the best pictures, you vote for your top 5. And there's some calculation that they do.
Well, whichever movie gets the most votes would be the winner.
It's actually some kind of weird algorithm or something.
It can't be an algorithm.
Between the different ones that they pick.
But it wouldn't be. It'd be like, if you've got 1,000 people and everybody picks their top 5, then of that top 5, there's going to be a pattern. And this particular movie is going to get the most top 5s. And if it's somebody's number 3 and somebody's number 2, then it's just like whoever gets the most still wins.
I think that's right, yeah.
A ruse to tell you you're not really voting, but you are.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't just go, oh yeah, I like Ebbing, Missouri movie. You have to actually go with the others too.
Yeah, it's factored in with some other numbers.
And another thing that I also saw an Academy voter say they didn't actually manage to get to see all the best pictures.
Oh, I've heard that every year. People say that. Oh, I don't even know that. I've heard it was good, so that's why I voted for.
Well, yeah, so
again, it kind of makes you go, you know.
Yes, and like we've said before, there's many movies that we've seen where we go, why isn't that in the best picture
Correct.
of the year? And why is that one? So, yeah.
But I still enjoy the concept of it, you know, somewhat. And I do like that we then make an effort to see the movies, and that just means we get to see more movies. So I like that part.
All right, so Academy Award weekend. Tomorrow night, you'll be able to, well, by the time you listen to this, you'll know who won the Academy Award.
Yeah, exactly.
And hopefully they got it right this year and announced the right movie.
Yeah. Or not. That's just funny.
Yeah. I don't think that will happen again. No. Unless somebody does it as a joke. Like whoever has to go up this year to announce the best picture actually does it to be funny. So, Saturday, March the 3rd, this is after the show number 520. We're a movie review podcast. We review movies. And this week's movie on Academy Award weekend is not an Academy Award nominee. It is Thor Ragnarok, the latest in the Marvel movies. It's a 2017 movie. Releases on Blu-ray on February the 27th. No, that is incorrect. It does not release on Blu-ray on February the 7th.
Your numbers are wrong.
It releases on Blu-ray this upcoming Tuesday, which would be March the 3rd. You can pick it up then. You can also pick it up digitally now. It's rated PG-13, and it's from our friends at Marvel and Disney, who sent us a copy to review. And Cidtalk will give you the synopsis of Thor Ragnarok.
Really? You think I need to tell people what Thor Ragnarok is about? It's a superhero movie about Thor.
And a Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Look it up. I mean, come on. It's Thor. It's a Thor movie, right? We meet Thor again and some more of his new friends and old friends, and there's big battles and there's some, magic and somebody wants to dominate everybody. It's really not that big of a mystery. So, There you go.
It's so I won't speak for you, but I am a big fan of the Marvel things, Marvel Universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe as they call it. I don't actually read comic books, generally. I will if one catches my eye. But I did when I was a kid. Obviously, I read all these, lots of different comic books as a kid. But I really enjoy the cinematic universe because it really is the comic books on the big screen. And they've all been good for me so far. I don't really have a bad... I tell a lie. Ang Lee's the Hulk, but I don't think that actually is in this cinematic universe. I think it was before it existed. It's pretty bad, that one, right?
I don't remember exactly how it was, but I remember not being super disappointed.
But in this Marvel Cinematic Universe, there hasn't been a bad movie for me. I've enjoyed every single one of them. I've also watched all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on TV. I enjoy that too. So I am probably biased. I'm a Marvel fan. I wouldn't say boy. Fan man. I'm a Marvel fan man.
Wait, is that better? I don't think that's better. You enjoy the movies. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I really enjoy them. I enjoy them in the way,
because at the same time, you can watch a movie like Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and be totally moved by that. You don't have a one end of the spectrum or the other. So,
no.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what you're getting with a Marvel movie, if you see the trailer, that's what you're going to get. It's
Correct.
And usually you'll be entertained for a couple of hours. And I can say that out of the 3 Thor movies that we've seen, Thor and Thor the Dark World and now Thor Ragnarok, Thor Ragnarok is my favourite Thor movie almost instantly. I like this one much better than the last 2. They've gone with a different tone for this movie. It's more Guardians of the Galaxy than it is Thor the Dark World. It is...
Why is that better?
Well, in this instance, for Thor, I think that the first movie had a lot of fun to it. They did play around with the fact that Thor had never been to Earth, and Earth was weird, and they did some fun. But then the second one got very serious, and I don't think the second one played as well as it could have. It was kind of odd, Now, this one, it's like they went the opposite of the second one. They just said, well, Guardians of the Galaxy is really, that kind of movie is big. So they took it that way, with way more humor, and it's more comic booky. They're not trying to be really realistic, if you get what I'm saying.
Well, I said, I think the idea is when it's Earth that is endangered, they take things a little bit more seriously. And when you're out in the galaxy, like Guardians of the Galaxy, it seems like they take a little more lighthearted approach.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's intentional, but that's how it feels like.
But this is super lighthearted approach. I mean, yes, there's dire consequences to the story and stuff, but it feels like a comic book. It's silly. It gets very silly. It's very heroic. You get lots of hero moments in it. He introduces some new characters here, and
lots of comedy.
Yeah, lots of comedy. And I liked the visuals of this movie. It is like a neon, it's all crazy colors, and it's like you're looking at the panels of a comic book a lot of the time, right? There's a lot of those framed things where I said to you, oh, look at that, where they're leaping in slow motion. It looks like you're reading the panels of a comic book, which I think is what the Marvel movies are for, right? It's to bring a comic book to life, and that's what this is doing.
I thought it was to make Tony Stark rich.
Oh, to make Stan Lee very rich.
Richer?
Yeah.
No, what's his name? Junior.
Yeah.
Downey Jr. Very, 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 very rich.
Yeah, he is actually a shareholder in Marvel, so even this movie that does not contain him makes him some money.
Was it his idea to do this whole thing? Whose idea was it? Because it's gone through some changes, but he was there at the beginning. It's
that Kevin Feige or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He is the guy who
Then he's probably richer than, yeah.
He'd be like richer than you can possibly be.
I'm not opposed to getting rich from being, creative and stuff. It's just, it's quite the racket if you think about it. We keep going back for more.
Yeah. But with Marvel, I feel like they don't just cash in. They really try, to make something cool every time.
I mean, we had Matt Damon, for goodness sake,
Yeah, I didn't think I'd see Matt Damon in a Marvel movie. But he's got to
be friends with somebody. That still is how that works, I think.
Yeah, I would say so. So this is the story of
Ragnarok.
Yeah, there's the.
Is that part of Thor's whole origin story? Is that by the time you get to the comics, this whole thing has happened already?
Yeah,
spoiler alert: Ragnarok is end of days for whatever it's called.
Asgard.
Yeah.
But no, this comes later in the comic books, when they've kind of, how comic books work. They tell you a story, they tell it you again a few times, they tell it you again, and then they have to come up with something. And people, back in the day when they were writing these comics, so people, kids in the school ground were like, I wonder what it'd be like if Thor fought the Hulk, like you said.
I don't know if the kids made that up.
No, I'm saying that's what
that's how it feels like, but
I think that's the comic book readers who were, before the internet when these comics came out, are just saying what would happen, and how do we have Thor and Hulk team fight each other?
I hate to break it to you, but I doubt if that's what drove all of comics to do those stories. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the whole there's been lots of interviews with Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and they went with what the audience wanted, or they went with what the times were telling them. When they made Black Panther, for instance, there was a lot of, the movies like Shaft and all those kind of movies were getting popular. They wanted something like that. They made Black Panther. Or they went along with, none of it's rocket science anyway, is it? We've said that.
Yeah.
The stories are very simple. Usually the origins of the characters are very simple. It's a Spider-Man, he gets bit by a spider. It's it's...
Superman, his planet got blown up.
It's Thor, he already exists as a mythology, a god. We'll just take Thor and we'll just use him. It's... None of it is, super intelligent. It's kind of it's...
So you're not really a fan, man. You would never say that.
But it's not really, is it? When you think, even when you go back and read those old comics, they're very...
You're preaching to the choir. You know what I say about it. It's like the dummiest downed ideas, and yet we all respond to it. Myself included.
Because we all like a hero or a heroine.
And we all hate the guy who wants to or woman who wants to dominate everybody because of their own freaking ego.
Yes. It's you could say, working on our base level. So that's why we like it. And, we still go and see these Marvel movies. How many years later? How long has this?
It's been 10 years or more since it all started.
And they still make more money than most movies make. So we're not tiring of them. So this story, the Thor Ragnarok thing, it kind of goes it goes around the galaxy, goes to Asgard, it goes to Earth, goes to Doctor Strange's weird place. It felt like a giant thing to me. What did you think?
Yeah, very epic.
Epic,
and then really all it boils down to is two people, or Asgardians, or whatever the hell they are, just standing there fighting basically on a street, but it happens to be a rainbow that takes you to other dimensions. But it's just like when they brought the Winter Soldier, and you're like, oh, and then it's just those two fighting on the street. And you're like, there's cars over there, and there's a bridge over there, and it's just two guys beating the crap out of each other. It's very, very low key. They add a lot of elements to it.
Very low key. Is that a pun?
Oh. They add a lot of stuff. A big giant dog and a Hulk and a thing and a bunch of people and spaceships. I get that. It all boils down to two people punching each other in the face, throwing knives at each other, all that kind of stuff. And then the scale drops way down. It doesn't get huge. It does ultimately, but I'm always like, okay, this is it. This is how we're gonna play. Do we all just love to watch a fist fight? Because my opinion on fights, it gets really boring really fast.
All superhero movies generally end with a fight between the bad and the good, right? The only one to buck the trend completely was Doctor Strange. Do you remember there was a boss fight at the end, but it was done using intelligence and not actually fighting, remember?
True.
And it was very different, that one. That's the only one that has bucked the trend of every other one. It ends up, it's either a street, they're on a spaceship, or
planets.
Yeah.
There are endless possibilities, but yeah, we get that a lot.
Iron Man is fighting against the Hulk or whatever it is. It's always a fight.
I mean, ultimately, that's it. It's man versus man, right? Or it could be alien versus alien, but that's the kind of stories we all seem to... the fist fight is the ultimate,
Yeah.
It's like cheating if you use all of your tools. If you just get down to it and punch each other, then...
Now this...
whoever wins, it's more legitimate.
Thor Ragnarok is the Marvel movie, aside from Guardians of the Galaxy, it's just dripping in style. It's like a different... It's everything, every frame is like... It's probably 99% CGI, the background's right. I mean...
Looks like it.
It's very CG heavy. But it is dripping in colour. It's never boring to look at. There's some really cool things in the movie, like Jeff Goldblum's spaceship, which is the most awesome spaceship I've seen in a Marvel film.
It's really awesome.
His place, that junk planet, that reminded me of something. I was
like, whoa, I love this.
Yeah, it reminded me of something from either like The Fifth Element or Star Wars even. It felt Star Wars-ish, like somewhere that they'd come across in there. Or Guardians of the Galaxy.
I wouldn't compare it to Star Wars. I don't think Star Wars sets the bar for anything. Unfortunately, it also reminded me of Walking Dead junkyard people. So you get the combination of good and bad reminders.
There was, the Jeff Goldblum's character's place, his arena kind of place, was really, it just has really inventive, interesting places that they go to. And when Asgard is... Spoilers. There's some spoilers here. Asgard gets messed up a little bit.
A little bit.
So you get to see Asgard, you've seen beautiful Asgard a couple of times now in the different movies. You get to see beautiful Asgard again, but you also get to see fiery, messy Asgard too, which I really enjoyed seeing. I mean, I don't want them to trash Asgard completely. It seems like a...
well, then you just watched the wrong movie.
Well, it's a comic book movie.
No, that's a done... You're not paying attention.
Yeah, I saw this movie.
Yeah.
No, it is not. Nothing is a done deal in a comic book movie because they can do anything in a comic book movie, and they often do. They can reverse anything. They can be...
I don't think they can reverse that.
A superhero can appear with a power that can mend a planet. Anything can happen. So there's nothing...
I think you're just wishful thinking.
There's nothing final in a... If you kill off a main character, they can always come back. And they always do. Because DC, what they think that we think Superman's dead.
As if.
Yeah, exactly.
As if.
So, never... Whatever happens in a superhero movie, it's never the end for something. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it was really funny. I don't think it went over the top with funniness. Sometimes that really bugs me. But it just committed right from the beginning. This is it's silly.
Yeah, if they had gone middle of the road, I would have been more irritated. It does irritate me a little bit, but overall, I was like, yeah, I can get into this.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with Thor just wisecracking a lot. And I was like, oh, this is either just this scene and then it gets serious, but then it never really gets serious. It's always got a tongue-in-cheek thing going on. I didn't mind that at all. I know some people it could irritate them if they're looking for serious...
Yeah, and if you take it that direction to start with, that's awesome as well. Because I like the serious, because you're talking about whole worlds, entire populations of whatever aliens are on that planet being destroyed by some asshole who just wants to bring brimstone and fire, whatever the thing is for the villain, right? So it's terrible. It's horrible. It's everyone's worst nightmare is someone coming and invading their planet and taking them over or blowing them up. So it's terrible. However, if you approach it dark and grim to start with, don't tell me any jokes. Right. And if you start with the jokes, keep on with the jokes. That balance when someone's right in the middle, it's just... Yeah. It's not right.
Because we just watched Marvel's The Punisher. That is not a jokey show.
No jokes in that show. That's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you're along for that ride.
It's a dark tone.
I can accept it. It's dark.
Yeah. I mean, there's one or two little jokes, but it's very, very few and far between, because that's not what it's about.
And when it happens, it's almost like you're like, oh yeah, I need a moment.
Yeah.
I need a moment to recover from whatever terrible thing I just saw.
But this movie, it takes it and just runs with it. Like, we're funny. We're similar to Guardians of the Galaxy in tone, if not the same. No,
not the same. Different, very different.
I mean, it doesn't do like Star-Lord's a bit of a wisecracking one-liner kind of guy, isn't he? It doesn't really do that.
It's not the same. Like, I don't feel like I'm watching something made by the same people or anything, but I understand the idea.
But it is very funny. There was often moments of like, oh wow, this is really funny. Like it's cleverly written. When I say
it's not clever.
There's some pretty clever, funny stuff, I thought. Mostly from the director playing that Rocky guy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's clever, but we might have a different definition.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
So the cast, I think we can say overall, for me anyway, I can't talk for you, the movie itself, I really, really enjoyed it. It's a fun Marvel movie. If you've seen other Marvel movies and you are a fan of superheroes, it's another superhero movie. They're not like reinventing, really.
No.
But it's quality, because Marvel always, deliver, I think, in that way. So let's go on to the cast. And what a cast it is. Chris Hemsworth returns as Thor. What do you think of this man as Thor?
He's fine. I'm not, you know me. I'm like...
He got really pumped in this one. It looked like
he does the thing. He does what needs to be done. He's semi-funny, and he's powerful, and he gets mad when he's supposed to get mad. And I don't know. I'm pretty neutral. I feel like it's not one of those roles that, it's owned by him. I don't feel like that at all.
You mean like Robert Downey Jr., like Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, because he's a smart ass, and he just... we've known him, though, most of his life's not known him, but...
But he owns that thing, doesn't he?
He does. And there's a very specific thing about it that who knows what it would be like with someone else. But with Thor, I don't know. I don't feel like it's,
Do you prefer long hair Thor or short hair Thor?
No preference. Couldn't give a shit.
I thought
display. I was like, what's the big deal?
Having long hair myself, I thought he looked really cool with short hair. I was thinking, oh no, don't cut his hair. And then when I cut his hair, I was like...
Oh my god, why do you care?
I was like, no, he looks cool with short hair. What is really cool about this movie is it's a big deal when they cut Thor's hair in the comics.
Yeah.
And in the movie, they cut Thor's hair and make him look cool.
It is not a big deal
But the guy who cuts his hair, now that is that is interesting thing. And he even says, doesn't he, a creepy old man.
Yeah.
When Hulk says, what happened to your hair? Yeah, well, the guy who cuts his hair, it's not hard to guess who it is, but there you go. Tom Hiddleston playing Loki again. Didn't Loki die in the last movie?
Well, like you said.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a trickster.
Yep. So Tom Hiddleston.
He's fine. I mean, he's more specific, I think, to the Loki thing. Because he's kind of ornery looking, and he's very specific. As you don't know if he's trying to be good or bad. Thor, the one thing I can say about Hemsworth is he takes on I'm just good, and I'm here to do good, and I'm here to save everybody kind of thing. And he does that well, as does Hiddleston with the, I'm not too sure right this minute if you are being a complete a-hole or you are being
good,
like trying to make amends and change your ways or whatever. But no, I like him.
The thing with Loki, though, is never trust Loki. That is the comic book mantra for him. Mm-hmm. Even if you feel, he's turned a corner. No, he has not never turned a corner. Maybe for a few minutes, but next time...
To get one thing done, he's just getting it done so that the next time he can be the bad guy.
Yeah, never trust Loki. That is the key. Kate Blanchett is the new thing here, as she plays Thor and Loki's sister, Hela, and she is awesome, I would say.
Very awesome, yeah.
I love a visual of her, how she looks. It is awesome. It's from the moment she appears, it's like a devil or something. It's weird, like it's and she's so confident about it. Well,
never mind. We had the guy on fire at the beginning.
Yes.
as sort of devilish.
And she's called Hela.
Correct. Well, she is the goddess of death.
Yeah, she is. And she just looks awesome. She has this CGI headdress kind of thing that looks like a spider coming out of her head or something. Mm-hmm. She is. She plays it really well. You know, she's got that masterful kind of... You listen to what she's saying when she's talking. She is great. Really liked her. Idris Elba is back as Heimdall. What do you think of Idris Elba? We've talked about him quite a bit recently.
Yeah, the character I get, I guess, because I'm not 100% sure if he's supposed to be... Is he like super old or something? Or has he been there since the beginning of time? I don't quite understand his overall commitment to this whole deal. So maybe I wasn't paying attention in the first couple Thors to
He had been there since the beginning of time.
Okay.
And he's the gatekeeper guy, just...
That I get, but I mean, why is he still important? Just because everybody thinks he's cool and he's blind, but he can see everything in the universe? He's got his own superpower. No one seems to really care.
He never gets to... Even though they give him his own little kind of side story in this movie, he never really gets to be Thor or somebody like that, does he? Because he is really crucial to what's going on generally.
Correct.
But they kind of stick him off in the side somewhere. And there is a little subplot involving him that goes on, but
it's not really a subplot. It's the whole movie.
Yeah, well, what I mean is it cuts away to him maybe 2 or 3 times. It gives him more screen time than he generally has. But I don't really think it was great, like his little story.
It wasn't a little story, it was the whole story.
It was the whole story, but I'm saying
it's the whole
scenes
point
with
of the
him
movie.
in, I understand that. But the scenes with him in...
Clearly not.
It was just him, like, herding the people together and...
Seeing stuff.
Didn't really...
But it's huge. It's like the whole point of getting to the end of this movie. So his part is humongous. It's just that it wasn't like... Da, da, da.
Yeah, he needs that kind... I would like him to have that kind of moment, I'm guessing. I'm saying, like Loki even has a moment like that in this. Thor obviously does. Jeff Goldblum plays the Grandmaster. Now, in the comics, the Grandmaster is the brother. He will be in this universe too, even though it's not explained here. He's the brother of the Collector, who the Collector is Benicio del Toro in Guardians of the Galaxy. And Jeff Goldblum's got this he's a more flamboyant than his brother, I guess, wouldn't you say?
Oh, no, I think they're pretty equal.
Yeah, but this one's real out there. I
think they're equal.
Whereas the Collector kind of mumbles to himself, but he collects a load of shit.
That's just Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
Maybe mumbly.
What do you think of Jeff Goldblum?
He was better than I've seen him in a long time. And I've always loved Jeff Goldblum. And this was better than I think he has been.
I mean, he's really, it's a crazy character.
Totally hamming it up.
Yeah. But it's funny.
It's like he's trying to really be this guy, which I think is funny.
And here's another great new addition. Tessa Thompson plays Valkyrie.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, like along with Cate Blanchett, she's a real awesome female. I mean, from Norse mythology and all that, the Valkyries are the band.
I know nothing of any of this.
You didn't do the gods and all that, the Odin and all that in school.
Because it was mythology, I guess.
Yeah, we did it still, though. I can't remember what class we did it in. One of the humanities or something like that. But, that actual really awesome scene, which I wish there was more of in this movie, but they show you the scene where they're fighting against Hela, and they're on their horses coming in, and it just looked awesome, like a painting. But, it's really just a still kind of flashback screen that you see. But, yeah, she's a Valkyrie, like one of the female warriors, the last female warrior, I guess. And she is awesome, I have to say. They even give her a moment where she gets her old outfit back, and, I don't think it'll be the last we see of her either, do you?
Doesn't seem like it.
Mark Ruffalo returns as Dr. Banner and the Hulk. What do you think of, first off, the Hulk?
You really want to know? What do you think?
I think you think the Hulk's got bad CGI.
I think the Hulk has bad CGI. And it's really boring. I don't care about the Hulk anymore. And he just acted really weird when he was Banner, which he wasn't like that before. So I don't really get why.
He'd been in the Hulk for 2 years, though.
It doesn't matter. They took him from being real serious and moody to being just goofy and weird and anxiety-ridden. And it was like, it's the same guy. It's just a different guy. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't care about the Hulk anyway. I think it's just a weird... Because I'm of the TV Lou Ferrigno Hulk. Not that I like Lou Ferrigno. I think he's a bit of a dick now. But old school TV where the Hulk is not this big giant leaping thing. He's just a big dude and can beat the crap out of everything.
The giant leaping thing is this Hulk is the exact comic book Hulk.
I don't care.
I like the CG on this Hulk. I like how you can see. I said Ruffalo's face. Just
yeah.
I like how you can.
But I still think it looked bad.
No, I really like it. I like the big arena fight that they had. Him and Thor.
You can like it, and I can still think it looks bad.
Yeah, exactly. And the big arena fight him and Thor had was awesome. I thought. Like it's just like this giant fight. It's just what it was in the trailer, that a bit of that fight. It's kind of what you come to this movie for. You want to see Thor and Hulk kicking each other's ass. Well, maybe you don't.
No.
I
do. No. Don't care.
Anthony Hopkins reprises his role as Odin.
I think you think, what, like he's not really being Anthony Hopkins. You know what I mean?
You think...
You think I think. I mean, what's he doing, really? He's just
getting a massive paycheck from Marvel.
And he would probably say the same.
Yeah, he probably would, actually. He has no bones about that, does he? He'll say that. Yeah, that's what he do. He's not really in many. He's not in much of it. He's in it at the beginning. There's a scene where he's watching a nice little play about his sons. And his sons are played by Matt Damon and... that guy from... I can't remember the other guy's name.
I wasn't sure who it was.
It was the guy from, Sam Neill from Jurassic Park.
No, that was the other guy. Who was the guy who was playing...
his
Thor.
Oh,
that one's the one I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I don't actually know. No.
Yeah, I knew it was Sam Neill.
It was this little play, and it's quite weird. And
well, it's like, apparently, like in Roman times or whatever, that the... king or whoever's in charge would have plays made about their enemies or about legends to make them look better. And this was about how great Loki was.
Yeah, Game of Thrones did it as well.
Correct.
But it's pretty fun in this movie. And finally, Benedict Cumberbatch returns as Doctor Strange. If you like Doctor Strange, and I really did like that movie, Doctor Strange. It's fun. It's like a tiny little piece of that movie. He's not in it long. But it's enough for me to think Doctor Strange is not to be messed with.
Yeah, so why don't they take him along? That's what I was thinking.
I don't think he wanted to. I don't think.
I know, but if you're going to go fight this big battle, shouldn't you take the baddest mofo that you can find?
If anybody can, Doctor Strange can actually fix anything. That's what I was thinking. He is like a story breaker almost.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, someone almost defeated him, right?
Right.
But yeah.
But with what he can do, nothing can really happen because he can just reverse stuff. I mean, he can do anything. He can open portals in time, and it's a bit crazy, really. So I think they have to use him sparingly, otherwise there's no peril anymore.
True. He could just be the guy who saves everybody all the time.
It doesn't really matter what happens. We've got Doctor Strange; he'll sort it out.
But we have Doctor Who, and of course they mess with the timey-wimey stuff. Yeah. So because you would think a Time Lord could just fix everything all the time, but it doesn't always work that way.
So this is directed by Taika Waititi. He is the guy responsible for Flight of the Conchords with our two friends. And he did that movie called Eagle vs. Shark, which is awesome.
It is really funny.
Yeah. And he was in the movie and directed What We Do in the Shadows, which was also awesome. I think it's underrated and not many people saw it. But it's kind of like the way The Office is presented to you, like that little documentary. It's like
making fun of The Office, essentially, but about vampires.
But about these vampires who live in just a modern day, Australia, and they just live in an apartment, and it just follows them on their day-to-day lives, which, being vampires, is kind of funny and horrific at the same time. It's just very funny and really off the wall. And that's what this guy is. He actually plays a character in this movie. Like a CGI rock guy. And he's got a really cool voice. But what do you think of this director?
CGI rock guy? You just go over Krog like he's nothing.
Yeah.
He was one of the funniest
He's very
things.
funny. I'm really hoping that the...
And I don't even like goofy shit half the time, most of the time. And I was like, oh yeah, I like that guy.
I like him better than Groot, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, Groot doesn't say anything, so.
but Groot's a CGI
but for comparing
yeah.
weird creature made out of something natural, rock versus tree, Groot says, Groot, I am Groot, I am Groot. And he does cool stuff. But this guy doesn't do anything cool. He just says cool stuff.
Yeah, he's just funny.
If you notice, he doesn't do much.
No, he doesn't. But he is very funny.
That's the funny thing. He's made out of rock, mate. I'm made out of rock, yeah. As long as you don't... what did he say? He said, should I be afraid? He goes, not unless you're made out of scissors.
Yeah.
There's a little rock, paper, scissor joke for you there.
The Flight of the Conchords humour is just what this thing is.
Like, it's wacky. Yeah.
If you find Flight of the Conchords funny, what comes out of this guy's head is just that. Like...
kind of stream of consciousness, almost.
Yeah. I like this director. I liked him. He's actually an actor. He was in Flight of the Conchords. He was in What We Do in the Shadows. He was in Eagle vs. Shaq. He's just wacky. He's,
But he seems to have a command of things. Otherwise, this movie wouldn't be so substantial.
Yeah, he does. And he's never done anything like this. I was looking at what he'd done, and he's done small movies like What We Do in the Shadows, and and then all of a sudden, Thor Ragnarok. So it's crazy, isn't it, how that happens sometimes? Because it's like, how does that happen? Is it just somebody goes, have you seen that What We Do in the Shadows? That guy is awesome. I'd love that energy in our movie.
Nah, I think there's more moving and shaking going on than that.
He did a really good job here, though. I mean, he's in the movie. When you see him on set in the extras on this disc, he is like a live wire, it seems. Like he's all over the place. He's keeping everybody under control. He's giving them ideas. Excellent. I'd like him to do the next one. Whatever the next Thor movie is. So extras on this Blu-ray disc are, and there are a few. You get some deleted scenes, a gag reel. You get Getting in Touch with Your Inner Thor, Unstoppable Women, Hela and Valkyrie, Finding Korg. You also get an exclusive short and director's commentary, which I'll definitely listen to because that guy is hilarious. I'm sure that commentary is funny. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. It's called the Cinematic Universe Edition. This is like the ultimate edition of this Blu-ray, where you get everything. You know when I used to complain that they didn't have those shorts anymore? What were they called, the shorts?
Yeah.
One-shots.
Yeah.
There is one on this one, and we missed it.
Ah.
It's called Team Daryl. And it says, Team Daryl short. With Thor gone, Daryl runs an ad for a new roommate. I'm trying to think who Daryl is. Somebody Thor lives with? Not sure. But anyway, there's one of those on there. So, in conclusion, it's another Marvel movie. It's giant. It's a big blockbuster. You already probably know whether you like Marvel movies or not. And you probably already either seen it or are going to pick this up on Tuesday because, that's the audience. They've got a huge audience, like Star Wars does. And I think they're very loyal. So you probably don't need me to tell you whether you like it or not.
They don't need you to ever tell them whether they're going to like it, but that seems to be your thing.
But for me, as a Marvel fan, I recommend this one. I had a lot of fun. On the cover, when they have those weird little movie quotes, it says the most fun you'll ever have at a Marvel movie. So what they're saying there is all the ones next, all the newer ones, are never going to be as much fun as this.
No, what they're saying is all the old ones are really boring.
They're also saying that too, and they're also saying any future movies are never... This one is the most fun. All the rest are never going to be as fun. So, this is it. This is the ultimate peak of Marvel movies.
That's it. Don't ever bother watching anymore.
Yeah, you don't need to see any... If you've not seen some of the old ones, you don't need to see them. You don't need to see the new ones. So, that's straight from the horse's mouth. And the horse is Peter Travers from Rolling Stone magazine. Thank you, Peter. So, I recommend it as a Marvel fan. And Cidtalk recommends it too. I'll just speak for her.
I don't recommend anything. I think you just watch it and decide for yourself.
Next week, we'll be in the wake of the Academy Awards, and we will be reviewing one of the Best Picture nominees, which will be I, Tonya. We'll be looking at that next week. All the Academy Award nominated movies tend to come out in the next 2 or 3 weeks because they like to cash in on people watching the award ceremony. So movie recommendations this week. I am going with Flight of the Conchords. And it is actually coming back to HBO this year sometime for a third. I don't know if it's a third season or it's some specials, because it's not actually been confirmed properly yet, but they are coming back to HBO sometime this year. Awesome TV show. The director of this movie was responsible for it mainly, and it is very, very funny. Also, What We Do in the Shadows, the vampire movie I mentioned earlier. It's not really a horror vampire movie, it's a comedy vampire movie, but it is very, very funny and really well done. So what are your recommendations?
Okay, I was listening to you, and I was prepared to switch over to my other tab, which has my recommendations, and a Facebook meme popped up in front of me, and I can't help it. Sometimes I hate them. Most of the time I think I just scroll over, but this one's pretty funny. Don't run with bagpipes. You could put out an eye, or worse yet, get killed. Because you're from the country, you're from, like, rural America like me. Right. Or maybe some other places. You don't say killed. You say kilt. He got kilt on the tractor.
Oh, so that's why I was like, what are you on about? I don't get it.
Kilt? You know kilt? Like a Scottish kilt?
Yeah, I know what a kilt is. But
okay.
I thought you said
so
killed.
You can put out an eye or get killed.
Didn't.
Somebody out there, you have to think it's funny, at least one of you. Just so I know, and the universe will tell me that you thought it was funny. And on with my recommendations. Mine are Ragnarok. But it's from 2013. It's actually a Norwegian movie called Ragnarok.
You've seen this.
I have. I watched it last Halloween season.
Oh, yes, you did.
It was on my,
yes.
So it is, it does have subtitles because it's from Norway. But it is like it's not a superhero-y thing. It's just a dude who's kind of like, he's sort of a Tomb Raider hunter kind of like always on the search for this thing, like the legend of Ragnarok, but it's a failed thing, and his dad, whatever,
It's on Netflix, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if it still is, but it was in October of last year. But I really liked it. I mean, it's not great, but I enjoyed it. And it was interesting. There's no parallel here. There's like no comparison. But it's about the same mythology. And my other one is just Hellboy. I mean, it's underrated for the superhero people. I would say Hellboy / The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And I am not one to say remake movies, but if somebody out there wants to remake or make a new League of Extraordinary Gentlemen without Sean Connery, I'd be happy with that. Find me some other odd combination of people who have super weird powers and abilities in the world that is all just kind of on the hush-hush, and they have to save the world for once. Because I really enjoyed that one. If I look at it now, it probably had bad CGI, but I don't care.
I will tell you that they're remaking Hellboy. It's coming up very soon.
Okay. Remaking?
Yeah. Like a reboot, like a different... Forget those two.
Oh, no.
Forget those two existed.
There's a new... continue it. But whatever.
I actually, about the Hellboy movie, I thought Hellboy 2 was the best one. I really, really liked that one. With the golden weird guy who was the baddie.
I like origin stories.
But, Hellboy is being redone. I can't remember who's playing Hellboy, but when I heard who it was, and I forgot now because it was a while ago, I was like, oh yeah, that seems right. But it's obviously not. Who plays Hellboy? What's that guy called?
The Beast.
Yeah.
Ron something.
Ron Perlman.
Correct.
Yeah, it's not Ron Perlman, no.
Beauty and the Beast from the 80s, early 90s?
Yeah.
Anybody? He was the Beast.
The
Beast. TV show. Let's not remake that one. But then again, that could be an interesting one. Beauty and the Beast. The guy who lives in the sewer.
I don't know if I'm into it.
With, what's her face from Terminator?
Linda Hamilton.
Correct.
Yes. I never really watched it. Maybe 1 or 2 episodes when it was on. But I never got into it. But I did like the Disney Beauty and the Beast. So, that's our recommendations. Games and Ascully stuff. I've just been playing more Metal Gear Survive. I've actually got like halfway through the game and got to the next map. So the first one is like the desert, and the second one is the jungle. The jungle one is slightly annoying to me because they introduce a enemy that is a plant that you can't tell where it is because you're in a jungle. So like there's a plant that jumps up out of the ground and jumps on you and knocks you over. It's really irritating because all the jungle is plants, so you can't tell that they're there, there's no clue. So you do get jumped on a lot, and they knock you over, and then you have to stand back up and stab them. It's kind of an irritating process. So hopefully they don't do that a lot because it might get on my nerves. But yeah, I'm about halfway through. I'm still really enjoying it. I like collecting all the cool stuff, and I didn't actually know there was a second map, so that was a big surprise for me. And the other thing, I've not been playing any more games. I actually played a bit more Lone Echo on the VR, but I've not finished it yet. But we did watch one of the Best Picture nominees this week. We're not going to be reviewing this one, so we watched it. And it's 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. And Cidtalk will give you a quick, not synopsis, but what she thought of it.
I loved it. Is that quick enough?
That's a bit too quick.
I was in.
I
was just in it, and there was no ripping me away from it. It was like I was woven into the story and the people and the woman, and that was it. I was locked in, and it was moving, and just watch it and decide for yourself.
It's actually quite funny.
It's got funniness.
Yeah.
And it's got gut-wrenchingness as well.
Really dark, also really funny. There was some really funny parts, I thought. I was expecting it to be like super serious, like...
Well, it is really serious.
It is, but I was...
Don't pretend like it's a comedy.
But like a Coen Brothers movie with that dark, like Barton Fink or Fargo even.
Not quite like that, no.
It's got that kind of...
I think that's correct.
Like No Country for Old Men.
No.
It's got that kind of dark sense of humor. Like, it almost goes silly in some points.
Silly?
Yeah, like the guy with the burning thing. It's kind of like really like over the top, you know?
Okay.
In that weird, like kind of hyper real kind of thing. It's kind, you kind of know it, like Pulp Fiction, for instance. It's sometimes a little bit too much, right? For real life.
Pulp Fiction's always weird, though. It's never just
No, not always weird.
We just disagree on this because I don't think it's that weird or that funny or that dark comedy or anything. It's just, it's got comedy like life has, and it's got some terribleness that overrides the comedy. But it's just observational about, like, mixing. You can't, the heaviness with the absurdity. It's more absurd at times than funny.
Yeah, well, I just found some really funny moments.
But it's nothing like those other movies that you mentioned, so...
Well, it is to me. It's very Coen Brothers to me.
But
very
it isn't
Fargo.
Actually.
Huh?
But it isn't actually.
Well, it is.
No, it isn't. I mean, that's not accurate.
I'm saying, for me, like, if it's got shades of Fargo to it, because Fargo is dealing with a very serious thing, yet it's quite funny throughout. It's full of jokes. It's full of... I mean, they're not like jokes like da-da jokes, but it's quite clearly funny, right?
Yeah, but it's not the same type, but...
I mean, this one's slightly less of the jokes.
Correct,
but it still has a bit of the absurd stuff.
It's not really jokes. It's just that people behave in ways that is counter. Hilarious. It's like the tension of the moment versus the behavior or the thing the person's saying. Like, and if you want me to use big words and shit from my intellectual days, it's a juxtaposition of like what we expect from a serious gut-wrenching moment and what they lay on top of it to be like, here's how absurd it all is anyway. And here's the terrible thing. But on top of it is this other, like, it's not comedy. It's just...
black comedy, I
don't even think it's black comedy. People have called it that. I disagree.
Right, I would definitely call it that.
You would, because other people have.
No, I would. That's straight off. I made my own mind up, and I think it's a black comedy because it reminds me of Fargo. And Fargo, the TV show especially, it deals with all of them deal with a horrible thing like a murder or something bad, but then the characters surrounding it are quirky and often funny, and that's how this came off to me. I like it better than Get Out. I'm trying to think of the other Best Picture ones I've seen. If I had to vote on the ones that I've seen already, I think I like Dunkirk a shade better for me, and Darkest Hour. I like Ebbing, Missouri better than Darkest Hour, even though I really like Darkest Hour. So
these are a different kind of reaction. Yeah, is what I would say. Yeah, definitely.
But they've all been good quality. What I've seen of the Best Pictures so far. But Get Out is still a bit of an anomaly to me. I understand.
Because people have responded so positively?
Yeah, because we saw it. It almost seems like it was 2 years ago when we saw it. Because we saw it very early last year. And I liked it at the time. But I wouldn't... If you would have said, do you think this would be up for an Oscar? I would be like, no. It's a horror film with a strange twist. But I don't think...
Get Out was May 20th. It was like it was middle of the year.
Right. Almost. But I don't think... I never felt like it had amazing acting in it or like it was super well put together, you know?
Yeah.
It just came across as like...
It didn't tick all your boxes.
No, you know, like Split. It was almost like the same quality as Split. And Split I liked it, but it is pretty trashy, right? I mean, it's not like super well made or anything like that. So yeah, that's the one that sticks out for me as what is happening with that one? Mm-hmm. Watch that be the one that wins everything. And we'd be like, oh.
It doesn't mean it's good.
No, it doesn't. It just means it's the popular vote.
This is one of my issues with the Academy Awards or any awards thing based on art or anything subjective. Is that you can't ask 10 people and get the same it's not quantifiable. And so if everybody just loves Get Out because it's controversial and it's about race and it's about the idea of subjugating other humans for someone's purposes or for greed, then a lot of people are going to jump on the wagon and go, well, yeah, that's awesome. And that doesn't make it good. It doesn't make it quality.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, so winning won't mean that it was good.
No.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it doesn't mean that.
No.
It's kind of a reflection sometimes of the moment and what people are, digging on. But
last year with Moonlight won, I actually, even though I super love La La Land as well, I believe those two movies there were very worthy,
Worthy, but again, we didn't see every movie, so there could have been movies out there that were 10 times as good.
Right, I think we saw all the best pictures last year.
I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about all of the movies. Yeah, the best ones got picked. Nah, we don't know that.
No.
That's reality.
So, but we can only account for what the Oscars choose for us to be the best movie. We don't. That's the fallacy. No, I mean, when we watch the Oscars, we can't go, Thor Ragnarok's the best movie. Because
we can say that. It's not up to them.
It can't be in the category because it won't be. Right?
I'm not saying from the Academy of Arts and Sciences, but for us, it doesn't mean that's the best movie of the year. It means that a group of people have decided that's their measure. It doesn't apply to all of us.
The Best Picture nominee that I am most excited about seeing is Paul Thomas Anderson's Phantom Thread, but I don't think it comes out till the end of April on Blu-ray. So it's going to be a while. But yeah, I love Paul Thomas Anderson and I'll watch anything that he does.
You will. You did not love everything. Don't lie.
I love him. I did not love Inherent Vice.
You did not.
I need to watch it again. I believe I could like it. But the day I watched it, it didn't really do much for me.
When you have to really, really try.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably, yeah. But I mean, I'll definitely give it another shot at some point. But yeah, that is my least favourite for sure. So, what is for dinner?
Tonight's going to be eggs, beans, and toast.
Yeah, I'm really hungry. My stomach's rumbling.
All right.
Eggs, beans, and toast sounds perfect.
Excellent.
And
excellent.
Vegetarian food.
God. Yeah, we're not vegan, so we still eat the eggs.
Also in the news this week, Mr. Kevin Smith, who I'm a big fan of, had a big heart attack. And was pretty close to dying.
Sounds like it. And
now he got rushed to hospital, he's a lot better, and he's becoming a vegan.
Vegetarian.
Well, he said vegan in one post.
Yeah, that was just joking. Maybe I should become vegan. I was joking.
But, I mean, he had the Widowmaker heart attack, what they call it, the doctors. The one that your whole, is it your aorta or the one that they put a stem in there?
Clogged artery, basically, is what's
completely clogged at 90% or something.
And let's point out, you're not just a fan. You use Kevin Smith movies as a litmus test for me.
Yeah.
When we met on the internet 150 years ago, before it was like the internet, you give me a list of movies I needed to watch because they're your favorite movies. And 3 of those were Kevin Smith movies.
True.
Clerks, Chasing Amy, and
Mallrats. Now, I love Kevin Smith's early movies, really, a lot. Like, I still love them to this day. If we popped on Clerks now, I would have a thoroughly fun
we should
time.
watch it. Yeah. We should tell him we're watching it, like, in honor of him. We haven't watched it in a long time.
I mean, and I love Jersey Girl, which is a movie that people don't like from him.
Controversial.
I think it's really cute, and I really like it. I do not like... I love Dogma. It's very of its time. I think it's hard to rewatch, and, it'd be the same.
Correct.
Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back is weak for me. I don't love that one.
I agree.
Tusk is awful. Yoga Hosers I didn't even bother watching because I saw that... Zack
and Mary Make a Porno, not great.
No. I saw the trailer for Yoga Hosers and was like, I don't even think I want to watch that one. What was the other one that was pretty bad?
Zack and Mary Make a Porno.
Cop Out.
Oh, yeah. Do we count that as a Kevin Smith movie?
It's absolutely a Kevin Smith movie, yeah.
I don't think we do. It wasn't really a Kevin Smith movie. He didn't write it or anything. He just made it. So I don't count that.
He directs episodes of Supergirl, which I love. He does The Flash. What I really admire about Kevin Smith is how out there he is. Like I don't mean out there crazy. I mean out there as in he just shares everything with the world. You feel like you know him. I feel like he's like a friend of mine along the years. I've every single thing if he has a shit, he kind of tells you. He's real open.
Well, that's not fair, because when I say I'm going to have a poo, you're like, no, don't tell me. But if Kevin tells you, it's fine.
Just an example. Well, you know what I'm saying. And like how Hollywood people and stuff, like when they have a heart attack, how many of them film a live video from inside their inside their hospital room, telling everybody how they are? Nobody. They're all private, aren't they? And nobody puts themselves out there like that. He just really does like it. He seems to care about what his fans think, and he said to his wife, I've just got to get this out there because people are going to be worried about, like, am I dead or, so.
I mean, that makes you a narcissist, but still.
Yeah, so get well soon, Mr. Kevin Smith.
Definitely.
And, get back to...
making good movies for you.
He's going to be making a new Jay and Silent Bob movie later this year, he says. So, we'll see how that turns out. So, what's your advice, Cidtalk?
My advice is know when to walk away. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. No, not the Gambler song. Know when to walk away. Like, for example, my mother a few weeks ago now, fell, cracked her pelvis bone. She's 76 years old. She was in Mexico. They live in Mexico in the winter. She then wasn't able to fly, and then she was able to fly and come all the way home. She's got a walker. I mean, we're talking about a woman who you cannot get down. You cannot bring her down. She's got a positive attitude no matter what. She'll get a little feisty with you, but you can't drag her down. She has a high pain tolerance. She suffers nothing. She will just plow through anything, and she doesn't like people hovering over her. So, of course, my sister and I go immediately when she's getting home. What do you need? What can we do? We make the house a little more walker-friendly so she can shuffle around because she refuses to sit down and let us do stuff for her. This morning, my sister said, how about if I make us breakfast? No, I'm cooking breakfast. I can get my ass in the kitchen. So she did. And by the end of the couple of hours, and we were there yesterday evening and, going to the store and getting stuff. And I said, I think you need to be alone because you're starting to get irritated and you're starting to get snotty. Yeah. With everybody. She said, yes, I do. I just need to be alone. I've had somebody with me the whole time, and it's wonderful, and I love people caring about me, but I need my space. And so while my mother is still shuffling around with a walker, can't get down the stairs, she lives in a house that everything's upstairs. She can't get out of the house. She can't go downstairs alone. She has to have two people, basically, one in front and one in back. And then she needs the walker at the end. So there's no just hopping in the car and going. She can't drive even for months, probably. But I knew when it was time to walk away. And not to, baby her or just be, in the back room going, you need anything? You want anything? You want anything? You need anything? Because that would drive her insane. Other people, I have a sister, the sister who was there, she's going to go back and, stay for a few days. And I don't feel like that's the best option unless my mom is down, where she couldn't, get to the toilet or anything anymore or take her own shower or whatever. That'll be different, but she's not. She's sort of in the middle there. And I think a lot of people have a tendency to want to make themselves feel important by doing the, I spent all weekend, doing this or that at the, whatever, for somebody or whatever. I only tell you that I went to look over my mother, make sure she was all right, because it's a practical thing that you need to do. She knows I love her, and even if I hadn't gone there, she wouldn't care. It's just one of those things. You just check on her. Plus, my father died last year, so I guess, I think, I've only got one left. So, soak up what I can do for her while I can. But a lot of people think they want to give the impression that they're needed and important, and then makes them feel important by caring for someone who's even just got a cold or some shit, I'm not that person. I just think if I'm in that position, unless I literally can't do anything for myself, I want everyone to just leave me alone. And if I need something, I'll ask. But there are people who are offended by that. Like, oh, fine, then I won't help you at all. And I'll be like, that's fine, then don't. But you know what I'm saying. There are the types of people. So my advice is, if you're in a situation where someone needs you because they desperately can't do things for themselves, that's a different situation. If it's a middle ground, don't baby them. Don't be too much. Just walk away or walk far enough away where you're... Even today before I left, I go, you need to have your phone on your little walker here somehow. We need to hang it on in case you fall or get stranded, Oh, that's a great idea. So she had this little tiny red velveteen bag. So we dropped her cell phone in there, and then I found this little clothespin clippy thing, and we just clipped it to the front. So now when she's scooting along, her little red velvet bag is swinging back and forth with her cell phone.
Nice.
I know. It's comical. It's that juxtaposition thing, where she may not ever fully recover from a cracked pelvis and torn muscles and torn ligaments. I'm sure up in her groin area it's really bad still, she's some pain and all that. But then the funniness is seeing my mom in her nightgown, shuffling around with her little cell phone, swinging around, and then say, oh, I'm going to go out and sit in the sunshine after you girls get out of here. So she's going to get herself out on the deck, sit in the sun, which she loves, i.e. that's why they live in Mexico in the winter. And at that point, I know she's fine. And if something does happen, her man, Jack, like my stepfather, but they're not married, knows who to call. He would call his children who were there, and then she can call us. So, I don't feel that, constant worry. I'm just not that person. It's very freeing.
So, I want to remind you about ascully.com and Cidtalk.com. You can visit them. One's my site, one's Cidtalk's. You can also catch us on social media, Twitter and Facebook. You can catch this podcast on the Google Play Store, the iTunes Music Store. You can also catch it on TuneIn. If you've got an Amazon device, you can say whatever wakes your Amazon device up and say, listen to the After the Show movie podcast on TuneIn, and it will play you the latest episode. You can also catch this podcast now on YouTube, Ascully.com, or just search for After the Show movie podcast on YouTube and you'll find it. And I put a new page onto Ascully.com this week. It's Ascully.com/subscribe. And you can go there, and there are links to every way you can listen to this show. And it will link you directly and take you, if you've got iTunes installed, it will subscribe you. It's very easy. Just go to Ascully.com/subscribe. Email feedback to me at ascully@ascully.com. Don't email Cidtalk. And
you can, but, it's not going to get you very far.
No. And with it being the weekend of the Oscars, stay classy. The Academy Awards itself.
Try to stay classy.
And hopefully Jimmy Kimmel keeps it classy tomorrow night. And we'll talk about it some more next week.
Correct. And I'm going to say think for yourself, or somebody's probably doing it for you.